Hey guys, welcome to the Mango Paint mini-series. We're going to make a bunch of small videos to give you the how-tos, tips, tricks, and tools you need so you can reclaim all of the furniture in your house, or your cottage, or your neighbor's house, or all the stuff piled in your garage. Whatever you want to do, we're here to help. So in this first video, what I'm going to do is teach you how to prep. Lovely little round side table. It's got these cute little gold capped legs. I love that on it. And of course a nice little drawer. Okay, so for this little table here, it's a nice little solid wood side table. Obviously it has a previous finish on it. Most of the things we're reclaiming have been previously loved. Mango paint is really awesome for going over something with a previous finish. So the first thing you're going to want to do obviously is remove any hardware. So we're going to take this little knob off. Okay, Lucy. Heidi, ready? Let's do that. Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to I usually stick the screw back into the hardware so it doesn't go missing. I actually store it in the drawer so that I don't, put it in a safe spot to find later and I can't find it. So to prep our piece for painting with mango paint, of course you want to make sure that your piece is clean first. Grime or gunk on the table there, you want to make sure you remove that first. Usually just a mild soap and water will do that for you. You could also use a TSP if you wanted. I have a 220 sanding block and I'm just going to give a really light sand overall on the surface and give the paint something to really grip to. So when I say a light sand, I really mean scuff, scuff, and that's enough. So that motto actually comes from Kathy Van Gogh, who originally invented the paint that is now called mango paint. I don't know if you can see that. It's just sort of dulling the shine a little bit. I don't want to go right through the finish. I really just want to dull that top shine a little bit. Mango paint will adhere to many, many surfaces. Just give the paint a little something even more to grip into, but a super light scuff. So even on my edge here, I'm just going to stick the sanding block right into the edge here and just push it right around. So you want to make sure you cover every surface, of course. So when you're doing this initial rough up, you want to be careful on your edges. The reason for that is when you're going to paint this later, you're probably going to do a bit of distressing. The mango paint distresses so beautifully, so lovely. But when you're distressing, what you want is this beautiful finish to come through. So if we sand really hard right now and go through this finish, we're not going to have this beautiful brown original stain coming through when we distress back to it. So you actually want to keep all your edges intact as much as you can when you're sanding. So again, scuff, scuff, that's enough. I think that's going to be it. So you can see it probably took me 5 minutes tops to prep this whole side table. So we've just covered how to prep a nice piece of furniture that is wooden and has a previous finish on it. Again, a light sand overall, and we're pretty much good to go. Of course, once you're done sanding, the next step is going to be to take a rag. You don't need a damp rag, so just a nice rag to wipe all the dust off everywhere. If you have little details or fine edges where you can't get in with the rag to get all the dust out, sometimes what I'll do is I actually just take a dry paintbrush, and you can use this to help push your brush out of your recess or any of your detailed areas. So there, so we're basically ready to paint. If I wanted to at this point, I could take off these cute little gold details. I'll probably just paint them closely, carefully, like I'll just slow down with my brush when I get there. But if you're nervous about painting or getting paint in areas that you don't want, that's where you would take some painter's tape and just tape off any detailed areas. Okay, so we've talked about prep, we've talked about prepping a wooden piece of furniture, but what if you have something that has a wood veneer on it, or actually something that's a laminate or a different substrate? So the prep is actually very similar for mango paint. All you're going to do again is make sure that the surface that you're about to paint is clean. And if you have something that is more of a laminate or like a really shiny veneer or has a really high gloss on it, I do the same prep, but rather than a 220 sanding block, I would use something a little grittier, so more of like a 120. That way I don't have to do much more work, right? I'm working smarter, not harder. My sanding block is grittier, so it's going to do the work for me of breaking up that finish, as opposed to using a fine sanding block and then getting more elbow grease into the job.